going. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
Yeah, I'm Jeffrey.
We are concrete our neighbors because they are puny.
Well, there's unclaimed lands at stake. So.
Yeah, I did see. It's not unclaimed land. Somebody already owns this land, and my neighbors don't respect the fence line, and so
It doesn't seem like anyone else cares, though.
no, nobody did care when it was just fucking dirt behind my house.
Right.
So yeah, like pristine. It's like the fields, you
Yeah.
know. So it's got them weird bushes that grow like 12 feet tall. So it's full of deer, yucca plants, and then there's coyotes who live out there, and then rattlesnakes. So I've never seen one, but I'm very careful about like reaching my hand under my deck or something because I guarantee you they're there.
I do not worry about that at my house.
I don't worry. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it in your house either. So
Was it you that that saw the black light on how many scorpions were?
that is odd.
Dude.
That is terrifying.
Who did that?
I thought it was you. I thought.
That was down in Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've only seen that on TV. That's crazy.
No, that's real.
I know, but
Yeah, that's
it's-
real.
that is
So-
crazy to
They're
see.
tiny too, man. They're like this big. So
really?
Yeah, you'd think they'd be like these big old fucking monsters that'll like stab right through your foot.
I guess on TV they
No,
only show
they're
the cool
yeah,
ones.
they're really small. So yeah, they just show the claw. Yeah.
Well,
So-
the small ones are. Isn't that usually a rule of nature? The smaller it is, the more venomous it is.
with those guys, if their pinchers are small, so if they got small pinchies, then they're very venomous. If they got big old fat hook like pinchies, then they're not as venomous, but they still sting.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I learned that, like the first week I spent down in, Arizona. Like, don't walk through the golf course barefoot. And I was like, okay. So,
It's like, is that a company policy here, or no?
that was just
it's
a
for your
legit
life.
warning from my mother-in-law. So, and then, that started a whole discussion about which ones are dangerous. So there's yellow ones with brown stripes that are dangerous. There's yellow ones with, like, slightly less brown stripes that are harmless. And so it's like, so what's the old thing? Red before yellow, kill a fellow? I can't remember,
Oh,
Well,
wow.
that's for the snake.
That's just, well, I know, but I can't tell them
a
apart.
spider.
So if I see a red, yellow, and black snake, I'm not touching it. So just like if I
There's
see
a yellow
scorpion,
scorpion,
I'm
I'm just-
not touching that either. Yeah.
And isn't
I wouldn't have any plans on touching a scorpion.
No.
No matter what color it is.
it usually like when you have two species like that are kind of similar in color, like the benign ones usually eat the harmful ones.
Yeah. There's spiders here in Colorado that are false widows.
Yeah.
They're much bigger than actual black widows, so when people see them, they freak the fuck out. But they've got the
It's on the other side.
It's on the dorsal side. It's
Yeah.
on their back, not on their belly. And that's they attract like, hey, hey baby, hey, come on over here.
And I think there are certain snakes that are like that too, where it's I think the ones that we just mentioned. Is that the coral snake?
Coral snake and the
And then the other one is just like the common.
No, kings are plain.
yeah.
I think you might be right. I think there's something under there where it has like a really like same color, slightly different pattern, but this one is just named like the snake. It's just it's like you got that one, and then you got the snake.
It's
and
called
what does
Bob's
it do?
Gardens.
Yeah,
Or something, yeah.
and they eat the other
I think
ones,
it's called
if I
a
recall,
banded
yeah.
snake. Actually, I think it's called a banded snake.
You might be right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now that I'm
I've
thinking about
probably
it.
got a zoo
Yeah.
books that
Right? Yeah.
clarifies.
I have them at the house. Livy just told me to get rid of it out of her room.
It's just closet space, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those books from our childhood, they've read like 10 of them.
Yeah. My daughter was the same way.
They don't.
The rest, Dr. Seuss worked for the kids, but pretty much all the rest of them, they're just like.
My daughter read all the Berenstein Bear books.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we did
Yeah.
save all of those. I got a box of them, so she did read through those.
I tried
So-
one of those. I tried one of the ones where the little critters that always have a spider
Little
on
critter
the
with
page.
the spider and the
The
frog.
Mercer
Yeah.
books,
Yeah, Mercer and Meyer.
She
Yeah.
didn't get into that one. It's like, man, I love these ones.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah, those are good.
Find the spider and the grasshopper in every picture. Yeah.
Scary Larry. Yeah.
Oh, they were always like me and my dad.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of other ones that were like, I had this one, it's like Scary Larry, it's by him, and it's in Cactus Valley. So, and everybody thinks it's Larry is scary because he's a hairy tarantula, but he's actually harmless.
Oh, I was like, is this his dark side?
No. It was a really sweet book.
He's like,
but it had
God,
the spider and the frog on
Yeah.
every page, and which was kind of his thing, regardless of whether or not he was writing. What was the hedgehog's name? What was that guy's name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was Little Something.
All the titles just say me and...
Yeah, me and my dad, me and my grandma, yeah. So just me and my little fifter. Yeah, so I remember those. We had those.
You got me.
We had a
You
few
got
of
me.
those. Yeah, he did have a name though. So, but then they're like, we had a bunch of the
It's named like Little Spud or something like that.
something like that. Yeah.
Could be.
I feel like I think there was an S in there, and I feel that
Sam.
Little Sam or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just, Anyway.
Yeah. So we had those. We also had the those horrible British books, the Mr. Bump and
Oh my god,
Mr. Tickle.
The Arby's toy.
The Arby's
that came
toy.
out.
Well, those came from England. If you didn't know that,
I did not.
Those are called the Mr. Men series.
The Mr. Men series.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Those are genius.
I have quite a few of those. Oh, come on, man. They're ridiculously British, man. So why would you call somebody Mr. Parsnickety?
Well, you see, there's a little joy that you get from those books because they still sell those, right?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they still sell those,
okay.
and they're very small. You can buy them for like $3, right? And they all have a certain personality to them. And if it so happens, and I've seen this happen, I've done it. You buy the Little Miss Bossy book.
Oh, you give it to your boss?
Well, no, you put it on the bitch's desk.
Oh, see, there you go.
And there's this thing that yes, there is.
You better not get the Mr. Tickle one.
You don't want the Mr.
Wipe
Tickle.
your fingerprints off of it too before you put it on.
exactly.
You should just do it.
Yeah.
It was like there was one. I think it was Mr. Nosy. You know, that was you give that to someone. There was a hidden beauty behind those things once you reached office age.
Yeah, no, I never used those in the office. But I had almost all of them as a kid.
And there were pleasant ones too, because someone got the Little Miss Sunshine. Someone got
Yeah.
I was Mr. Bump.
Okay. Just because you got injured enough?
Uh,
That's the point behind him. He was just clumsy.
He was clumsy, and he had roughly the same body shape that I did at the time.
I thought you would get like Mr. Strong.
No.
So no, kind of square, man.
Not at
Wasn't
the time.
he a perfect square?
You got
I
me.
think he was an orange square. Yeah.
Look, and to tell you the truth, when it comes down to it, I remember the Arby's toys better than I remember the books.
Remember Mr. Bump because of the toy.
He was bandaged,
Yeah.
and of course you remember Mr. Tickle.
Mr. Happy.
I don't remember about Mr. Tickle.
He
He
had
was
the
the guy with
wobbly
the long
arms.
orange wobbly arms.
Wobbly arms.
Yeah.
I do not remember him.
Yeah. So no, there are tons of them, man. So
Yeah, the Mr. Men books. They're
Mr.
awesome.
Men books.
Well,
Yeah.
and I know I used Mr. Bump when I created one of our fantasy football team logos or something. I had a shark eating Mr. Bump.
That's because it was my name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
That was.
Oh yeah, that was your fantasy team. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, the picture just popped in my head. I was like, "Where's Mr. Bump? There's a shark eating it."
You remember
I don't
Mr. Messy? He was just a scribble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need to give that one to
That's
my
what I'm saying.
dog.
It's genius. It's such a simple concept and it works. It's not
old too, man. That's been around a while. Those go back long before we
before
were
us.
kids.
like
yeah.
the 70s.
I think they might be earlier than that, actually.
No shit.
Yeah, so because some of those are like, I didn't realize this was a huge British cultural icon until I actually watched like BritBox for a while. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and then like everybody knows what those things are, and it's like okay,
Well, the same thing. I didn't know how revered the Richard Scarry books were.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know those.
Oh, the one, the little mouse, and this is the page that's full of trucks, and it's different. This is a fire truck, and this is a dump truck, and this is a front end loader.
And there's tons. They were all populated with little animals, and they'd be wearing like police uniforms, and
Cats, dogs. Yeah.
What were they called?
That's
the Richard Scarry books. Yeah.
Okay.
Scary or Scary. I don't think I've ever heard it pronounced.
Yeah.
So those are old too, man. So
Thick books too.
Oh yeah. So I might still have a couple of those.
I've got one or two.
Yeah.
They're great.
That I just
They're
locked
great.
up into a
Yeah.
box that'll be stored for the next 30 years.
I might have one or two of those.
I thought those were fantastic. I thought those were because they weren't really telling stories per se. It was basically like exposure of these are things.
These are things, yeah.
Right.
Different types of boats, different types of planes,
Yeah.
different kinds of jobs, in the hospital.
It wasn't trying to fucking preach to me.
No.
That was the thing. It was just like these are.
Well, I mean, the Mr. Men books kind of are. Like, don't do this. Don't be this guy.
Those are universal. Like we understand that these are not these are good and bad qualities, man. It's yeah.
Yeah.
So much to the point where it's okay to sum up a person's entire personality into the way they look and act,
Oh, yeah.
and then name them as such.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So,
I think there was like straight up dude that was like Mr. Ugly or something like that. I mean, it's just
Mr. Feo or something. I can't remember, yeah. I think there was, yeah.
I mean, it's a
Mr. Late, the guy with the briefcase.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow, I do not know these at all.
There were a lot of them.
They're just tiny. They're like this big.
There's a guy named Mr. Pickle. So
Yeah,
I don't remember what his
problem
deal was. Yeah,
He's
exactly.
always in a pickle.
I think he always ate them. So I can't remember.
I'll bet you you could go on eBay right now and get like a set of 100 for like $10.
Probably. I mean, I remember buying them at the school. So, yeah.
Yeah, during
So at the book fair?
The book fair.
Yeah. So then I got hooked on Garfield books and stopped that collection. So
Garfield books were exquisite. They were, I mean, in terms of size, in terms of readability, they just did everything right. It hit at the right time.
yeah.
Garfield is not that genius of a concept, but they managed to do like 15 things well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, well, yeah, man. I had a computer program there. You could write your own Garfield comics, and they had the same 15 fucking backgrounds. So, it's either the counter with John, or it's the sunbeam, or it's the living room with the couch,
With the
or it's
chair.
the fence, or it's the tree. So, so they were all like...
He had a sandbox.
He did have a sandbox, yes. So, But like most
Oh,
of it,
yeah, he would go to the
go to
vet.
the vet.
Yeah.
yeah, you go to the vet every now and then, but like if you go back and if you look at his cartoons, okay, about one of every 3 cartoons, the background is just a flat line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you don't know if it's a counter, if it's a table, if it's a bar top, what it is. It's just so that he doesn't have to draw the rest of John. So,
Well, okay, and it's an excuse to put them at eye line.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean the guy knew what he was doing. I mean his first comic. Have you ever read about his first comic?
Huh.
It was about bugs, and it's like Garfield but with bugs.
Huh.
Yeah, and then like
He's like, oh, these aren't that cuddly.
well, no, but he did get syndicated out of it, like through like half a dozen newspapers, and then but he never like got big. And then one of his editors says, people don't like bugs. Why don't you do it with something else? He was like, how about a cat? And that's how Garfield was born.
Wow.
He didn't even have a fucking cat. What? No, he's never had a cat.
Well, if you
He's definitely allergic to
what?
it. Yes.
if you
So-
remember the first strips, you can see that he didn't own a cat. Because,
Oh, because of how it was drawn.
Yeah.
well, okay,
Well,
so
that's like how the Simpsons were, too. I mean,
okay, Yes, but do remember, like, in the first... Because the whole thing is, like, this cat is fat, right? I get it. And he was enormous back then.
He was huge.
But if you look at the scale of it, it's like, this thing is the size of a fucking Akita.
Cat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly.
That wasn't a 40... It was this tall. It was waist high when he was sitting.
That's true, he was, yeah. I have those books, the very early
They're charming.
ones. Yeah,
they really
great.
are in a
With
way.
Lyman, so John's gay roommate.
He was...
What? Really?
We don't
Well,
know.
well,
we
he's
just speculate.
the one that owned Odie.
Right.
That's
the
where
only
Odie came
reason
from,
why Odie's
yeah.
a thing is because Lyman brought him into the house in like the second or third month of syndication, something like that. Yeah.
He had a roommate.
He had a roommate.
And the roommate eventually left, but left Odie behind.
No. Nobody knows what happens to Lyman. There's not a strip where he just says, "I'm out."
Just gone.
He just disappears, and so
He's buried in the backyard.
So that's the thing is that there's a rumor out there that he's chained up in John's basement and has been for over 30 years.
Wait a minute. Okay, so there's no.
There
so
is
he
no
just stops
ending,
appearing.
It just stops appearing. So and Jim Davis said, yeah, he just wasn't working as a character, so I stopped putting him in things, and after a while, I just, he was gone. So
but
there's not a like, hey, I'm going to Tahiti, kind of thing.
Right.
There's
right.
not a single strip.
But Odie stays.
Yes, and so
So the man's dog stays.
the man's dog stays, and the man just gets erased. So
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Calvin's Uncle Max, right? Calvin's Uncle Max only
Yeah, I
appears in
remember.
like 2 weeks.
but I thought he was
as a visitor.
visiting.
Yeah, exactly. He
Yeah,
came as a visitor,
okay.
and that was Watterson's argument. He said this is a completely redundant character.
Right.
He's like, I thought it would open up opportunities for me to have him travel, to see this. He's like,
Never showed up
but
again.
and even he said, he's like, well, he's just Calvin's dad with a mustache.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He's like, it's not even visually.
Lyman was John with the mustache. Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, he was only in like the first 3 or 4 books worth.
He's there for a little bit, enough
He's there for
to be a
bit.
character. Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen interviews with Jim Davis about this. I guess I haven't seen. I read them. Where it was like, yeah, after a while, people loved Odie, but nobody expressed anything for Lyman, and so he just started writing him less and less. So because at first he was supposed to be like John's like mom and dad kind of thing,
Right,
with Garfield
right,
and
right,
Odie,
right.
but yeah, it just didn't work. So he was like, yeah, actually fewer characters sometimes is better. So
it's the same thing with Charlotte Braun.
who is that?
That is the character that was introduced as Charlie Brown's counterpoint.
Oh right, yeah.
The one that people didn't like, so he drew the picture of her with an axe in her head, and that's
I know this. Yeah,
the
this
title of
happened,
the
yeah.
picture is just called The Axe.
The Axe. Yeah.
And she was gone from that point out.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not. Here's the thing: is I have looked through like so many of those strips. She is buried. She's there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can find her
for a little bit, but gone, totally gone. Because they're like, we hate this character.
That's the other reason why Jim Davis did a cat was because like this was when Schultz was as big as he got.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes perfect sense.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
So because he was starting to do some
Yeah.
of those like Christmas specials and shit, so he was like, yeah, we'll do a cat. So because the only other cat out there was Heathcliff. So
And Heathcliff's its own thing.
Heathcliff is its own thing.
It's
And Heathcliff does have a shitload of characters in it. So he's got the whole gang. So the Alley Cats, right?
I thought they were made for the show.
Oh, I don't. I thought they were.
Yeah,
in
I
the
thought those
comic.
ones were made for the show. Because
I don't know about that.
Heathcliff's cast of characters is tiny. It's him.
Uh-huh.
It's the Fishmonger, which doesn't work for like 47 states. But yeah, there is a Fishmonger that looks just like him.
Just like Heathcliff?
Yeah, he's a bald guy. He has those.
Oh,
same,
yeah, but he's a dude.
yeah, he
Yeah.
has-
Okay. Yeah.
He has those 2 eyeballs. Those same eyeballs. He's got a mustache, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like Heathcliff is always trying to bother him to get fish out of him.
I thought Heathcliff had a whole nother set of cast characters. Maybe
No.
that is just
It is the show.
The
It's
show. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
that's the show.
You know, and I honestly I can't remember reading Heathcliff that often.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I do. It was cute. I mean, But I mean, the thing is, Heathcliff was always a jerk. I mean, that was the thing. Is I liked it, but that was his shtick. Was so he had a little girlfriend, a little white cat.
Yeah.
He was always being an informant to the dog catchers.
Right.
Yes. And he would.
So he's got a Marmaduke kind of like plot line here. It's a big dog. It's an asshole of a cat. Got it.
Yeah, kind of. And it's funny because if you say that,
The
if
dog
you
is
said
so big. Your cat's such a dick.
it's, yeah, Marmaduke was always. What's the punch? Like, damn, that's a big ass
It's
dog.
a big ass dog. Yeah.
Whereas, like, something like Fred Bassett was like, well, this is a dog that you'll always see him in the third panel looking at you sideways with some kind of British snarky comment.
Always try to make you feel depressed. Yeah.
It's just, it's like... And it was always just kind of like some stupid pun where he's just, like, looking at the side. He's like, oh, so that's what they mean by, dry cleaning. Right? And that's... I don't know what the setup was.
Dude,
but
I guarantee you there's a spot out there where he did that.
all you do is
It's almost perfect,
he'd be drawn to the side, but he'd look at you, right? He'd look at you and he'd give you the side eye, and he'd give some kind of like pun about what he saw. I'm like,
What was this comic called?
Fred Bassett.
Oh.
It was a little Bassett. I love the way it was drawn.
Oh.
Because I love dogs. Whereas Marmaduke was like almost impressionistic in terms of like how it was.
Dude, I don't think that guy lifted the pen off the paper. So,
You're right. Which is genius in its own way.
if that's true, but I know it's not true, but it is kind of true. So
he's like one of those guys with like like shrapnel in his arm. So once he puts it down,
he's gonna use his other hand.
We're giving way too much credit for this thing.
Yeah,
Whereas like there were dudes that were like super talented, like in terms of being like skilled. I don't think Hank Ketchum gets enough credit for
Who is
Dennis
he?
the Menace.
Oh yeah,
Because that dude actually, like, he had like a great sense of like perspective, and his designs were always consistent, and they weren't like changing all the time. I was like, this is very good.
No, he was good.
And there were some dudes where, like, I'm gonna say it to this day, I don't think Gary Larson's a good artist.
He does
Far
BC.
Side?
No, he does the Far Side.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no, he admits it. Yeah. I saw this whole thing when I was doom scrolling the other day about his, like, the evolution of his cows. His early cows are awful. I mean, they are terrifying. So, But, I mean, he came by that honestly. He never said that he was a good artist. So he said that he, first and foremost, he was a joke writer.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right.
But yeah, some of those guys were definitely a little bit more talented than others. Dennis the Menace is a good one. So,
And the guy that used to draw,
the guy who used to draw Doonesbury was really good.
well,
What was his name?
I didn't read that one, so I have no idea.
well, I remember more so like on Bloom County, like.
Right.
And I think that was the same guy from
was the same
Doonesbury,
guy,
right? But
yeah.
it might have been
I
a different
remember.
artist because he drew it completely differently.
He just grew up a little bit. So,
Grew up a lot. Good.
Yeah.
Well, I think that would look way better.
what, the old one?
Yeah.
I think he probably put more effort into it, but it was the
Opus
same
and
guy.
Bill the Cat
It
and
was
all
the
those
same
other guys.
guy.
Yeah.
So when you got the Sunday cartoon, would you read all of them?
Oh yeah.
Eventually.
I did not.
At
ever
first, it was front page, back page.
Oh no, I read them all.
Oh,
But
I'd
eventually, I
only
just
read
went
like
left to right. Yeah.
the select
Oh,
7
no,
or
man,
something.
I read them all. Man, I tore that thing apart every Sunday. So even like Mary Worth, I would read. So or Rex Morgan, MD.
Kathy and
Kathy. Okay, so let's talk about artists.
Man, like even then, we'd still call that like a diversity hire. It was just not. Don't stop it, man. There was nothing.
There was nothing. No. And I mean, every one was just a block of text.
oh yeah.
Yeah. It's an absolute like chore to read. Yeah.
But you would read it.
I would, and so like Kathy, like I don't know, Kathy kind of grew on me after a little while. So, but it was definitely not a go-to. But like it took a lot to piss me off as far as comics. The one that did piss me off after a while was Funky Winkerbean.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that one became insufferable. I'd rather read, Gary Hart's, fucking proselytizing in BC than...
I liked BC.
Johnny Hart?
Too. Johnny Hart, sorry, my bad. Actually, I think his son might be Gary Hart. I can't remember.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah. Because his son took over both of those properties. This is BC and the Wizard of Id. So,
yes. Wizard of Id was Parker and Hart. Brad Parker and Johnny Hart, yeah.
So, and Mother Goose and Grimm, Mike Peters was one of my favorites. So,
yeah.
He was a great political cartoonist,
too.
Yeah. He did not lift the pen off the paper either.
Well, I mean, there were some other... Like, Frank and Ernest was up there with, like, the laziest drawn.
It was the laziest, but they had good jokes, man. And it was always about somebody being stupid and somebody else being even dumber than that, So, yeah. I didn't mind Frank and Ernest.
No, I didn't mind it. It was a lot of real estate for...
It was.
A lot of times what would be a one-panel joke.
Yeah. Well, and he would do that, too, sometimes. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There were a couple others that were actually pretty good, pretty well drawn, too. So.
Well, there are some that make me wonder exactly, like... There was a time and place for it, and you could tell that they actually did have different like markets in mind. They're just kind of like, this thing's just going to get bigger and bigger. We need something for like a 10-year-old that likes simple designs, but is also into like little like warrior culture. It's like, let's get Hager the Horrible, and again, there was never anything to it. It was just.
Yeah, but that's not how these things started. It wasn't the newspaper saying that we need this. It was a guy who would draw something and the newspaper would pick it up. And then the newspaper would pull it, and then if they got enough letters saying, hey, we want it back, then they would put it back.
Well, that's...
really? Yeah.
Unless they had an instant hit on their hands. And there were...
That happened a couple times, but you're talking about, like, I mean... So the heyday of this is 1950s, 1960s, where you get, like, this much comics.
Oh, and they were huge. Yeah. And they were all... full size.
No, you don't get that much real estate to do comics in a paper back then.
Well, in the 50s?
No, not so much.
Yeah.
No, not really, man. If you go back and look at some of the older ones, you get like maybe a page of funnies. So, and they're not dailies. So, but the exception to that would be like,
dude, look at like Pogo from Walt Kelly. I mean,
I know.
Like they were all big.
Maybe older ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Older ones.
No, like when more people started getting syndicated, so it was basically survival of the fittest, whether or not you got picked up. It wasn't a newspaper editor saying, "Hey, we need more dogs," or something like that.
Well, no, but I mean, you wouldn't. You wouldn't just take a chance. There's so many out there that you wouldn't just take a chance on it without giving it thought.
Well, I don't know about that, man, because you had a lot more newspapers. So
you did, but I mean, if you went out there, if you knew, if you just straight up there, like, if your audience didn't like Spider-Man, you might say like, well, I'm not going to waste any room on Galahad, right? You would give it some thought because you're like, because this is like this. This is like for a time when Tom Baltiuk was doing, we just said Funky Winkerbean, right? He did another, like, Gasoline Alley or something like that. If you get out there, it's like, the fans don't like this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just throw Gasoline Alley in here just because.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how
guy.
that was actually priced out. But, prior to, like, when we grew up and we get the Sunday comics, almost all of them were nationally syndicated. Okay.
I don't think we had any local ones, did we?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, other than the guy who drew the political cartoons on the fucking opinion page. So,
but he wasn't doing.
Who was that guy? He came
Chuck
to our
Assay.
Chuck Assay.
Yeah,
that's
I met
right.
him.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he came and spoke at one of our classes. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was a very nice guy. So, who had very strong opinions about things.
I bet you would.
But he was actually pretty talented as far as an artist goes, too.
Incredibly, yeah.
Yeah. But, so, beyond that, but, like, when my dad was growing up and they were reading comics, and even my mom, they were all local artists, except for, like, Peanuts. So, and so something changed between then and now. So, we're, like...
Wow.
They were all local artists. So... Yeah,
that's great. You know what? Because that's the thing is that's how my dad met Mike Peters. He was a Dayton guy. He worked.
You're right. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, you know what? On top of that, your dad was in the center of that too. I mean, like, so anything national would have had its start out of basically New York anyway at that time.
Maybe there were a lot out of Chicago. So, and then my dad was in the Air Force, so in the '60s. And so,
That's true.
He lived in a lot of different places, and he had a little penchant.
Schultz lived in Colorado Springs for a while.
Huh?
Schultz lived in Colorado Springs for a while.
He did, yeah. So, I wonder if they bulldozed his house. So,
Probably.
There was like a push a few years ago to save it because there's actually an original drawing of Snoopy. So
Just on the walls or something? Or?
Yeah, he painted a wall when he was leaving the house or something like that for the family that was moving into it. And they kept it for like 50 fucking years that way.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You know what? They probably took that piece of wall, put it in a...
Oh, that's actually what they did. They did,
Yeah.
and they put it in his museum in California. Yeah, you're right. So
Whoa.
I did remember that. And then his museum in California had a giant sinkhole open underneath it.
Oh no!
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Why
So
wouldn't
it actually destroyed a
wouldn't it?
bunch of his collection. So I can't remember. It was something like that.
You know, and that's that's the difference between Colorado Springs and say California, because like California still has tons and tons of like 1920s, 1930s houses, which are actually they're hard to demolish.
Oh yeah, they're well built.
Well, yes and no. I mean, they are and they aren't, but I mean that's the thing is they have a lot that you have to go through in order to demolish them.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Right.
a pain in the ass.
Versus you're taking Charles Schultz's house that lived, Charles Schultz, we're like, we can cut out the art and smash the home and build a better one.
My understanding is the home was trashed anyway, so I don't
wouldn't
know.
doubt it.
I looked into this like deeply a couple of years ago. It was longer than that. It was maybe 10 years ago. So, because it was just one of those things that I was like, oh no shit, he lived here. So yeah,
Yep.
it wasn't very long though. So
No, and I don't remember why. I don't think he was a tuberculosis case or anything like that. But
no, it wasn't that long ago. Man.
no, we had
It's
people
true.
like even
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
time where it was like, well, go to the mountain air, and this is the city to like, don't go to Denver, right?
right, because of brown cloud. Yeah.
But if you go to this place like 60 miles, all right, the air is very clean. In fact, speaking of renovations, aren't they having a big to-do about what to do with Palmer?
Yeah, they keep kicking that back and forth though, man.
The statue or
The school.
the school.
oh,
And the statue, because it's right there.
Dude, I think I'll die before that statue actually moves. So.
I don't think they'll ever move it. And
No, I don't
hindsight,
think so
they
either,
should.
man. Yeah, no.
Well.
I mean, eventually they'll turn it into a roundabout, and everybody will bitch about that. So
It'll be fine.
it'll be fine. I know. So I use these in
It works
skylights
great.
all the time. Yeah, it works
Fantastic.
great. So now it's like they work so well. There's just a button you push in order to make it. Yeah. So
a roundabout is better than what it is. It is
Death
a
Trap. Yeah.
Horrible
So-
intersection.
But
I don't even go through it, man.
That's the thing is-
Yeah.
You
so
avoid it, so there's like
Yeah.
only 3 cars that ever go
go
there.
one street up,
yeah,
or one street down.
over.
And
So yeah. I mean,
But Google sends you right through it.
I don't trust that motherfucker. It's like-
So when I
they're
went
not
to
the
work,
final authority on
when I went to work, I honestly did not know where that statue was.
It's fair enough, yeah.
And so I took Google and it sent me right there, and I was like, oh, the statue. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's here. Because I never went downtown for anything, so.
No, but I understand. I don't either. But you're not the only one. There are people who they feel that Google is the ultimate authority. It's like, I cannot deviate from this at all. It's like, if that's your attitude, then yes, I'm formally charging you with like 3rd degree autism, because at this point,
That's a chargeable offense.
because you need to be able to Google, even if you mess up, it will reroute you like immediately,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well.
It's not like GPS used to suck. Like in comparison, it would think, and you would the old ones that like recalculate.
Recalculate.
Yeah. Now it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Even
Turn left 1 mile back.
even on those wacky highways and stuff that you and I used to travel, like sure you did too. Like at this point, it's like if you get off there, like it reroutes you almost too fast to where it's like, I'm just going to the bathroom.
Right, oh yeah.
Fucking chill. Like
This is a gas station.
Turn left.
Think a little bit.
Turn left.
Immediately take the. It's like, no, man, because then I won't pee. I have to go here. I have to buy like that white cheddar popcorn. I have to get in here and do something. Chill. Yeah.
It'll get there.
It will. It will. But yeah, that's some people do not want to. Like, I can't. Google says go this way. It's the best way.
I got yelled at for that. So.
By who?
By my girlfriend.
For
when we went to Estes Park. I guess I followed Google, and she wanted to see the mountains as we go through. And Google said, you can save 2 minutes by going this way. And I went the way that Google said. She's, why are you leaving? It's like,
I know exactly where you went.
I don't know. Google said, she's like, you're missing the best parts. I'm like, but it...
I know exactly which way you went.
So, yeah, I followed Google, so I have autism, I guess.
Oh, you've been formally charged.
I just followed what Google said. I was like, whoa!
Sentencing's in a month.
Yep. I value Google as the authority.
It's fine. I know that in places where, like again, if I find myself in Newtown, or something like that, I don't live there. I have no clue, right? I do feel sort of obligated. It's like, don't do me wrong, Google. I don't know this area.
Yeah.
Now, if you're driving an RV, Google can do you wrong.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah. It just send you down a one-way road.
It sends you down. It's like, take this turn, and then this turn, and then this turn, and then this turn.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's like I'm driving a fucking bus.
This is not going to work. Please take me to Giant Road. Whenever my ass can swing around.
Whenever I'm going somewhere and I don't know the roads, I will actually look at Google first and figure out which way requires the fewest amount of turns.
You're a smart guy.
No, man. I've just been stuck in plenty of places because of, it wasn't even Google Maps back then. So, where it was just like, no, that's not where we're supposed to go.
Were you printing out shit from MapQuest?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Left here, right here. Here's your little green sign. It says North 30. It's like, that's not what this one says.
No, you're right. Yeah, well, too, and I remember on the way to North Dakota, there was this place where, I don't know if it was really, there was a part where they were sort of like working on this road. Like, you come off the highway in this one part, and it just goes to, like, a single-lane dirt road, right? And you go there for, like, half a mile, and then through this neighborhood, right? Through this dirt road neighborhood, right? And you go there, and you take one more turn, and that's the thing, is then you get back on the highway.
Is this in Douglas?
What state are you in? Because you went a different way than I did.
I did.
There was
a
turnoff in Douglas
part
that
of the
was
state.
like that. Yeah, if you missed the
You were on the west side of North Dakota, and I was
most
on
of the time,
center,
yeah. Yeah, you were way center, so yeah.
I would always go through Douglas.
Yeah.
And then shoot out north that way. You never went through Douglas, really, huh?
I did once.
Yeah,
okay.
But that wasn't your regular... Yeah.
Would you go out through Chugwater?
I'd pass Chugwater, but I wouldn't
know which way.
I wouldn't go. But yeah, there was this part where it goes into it's highway. Take a ride onto this tiny little dirt road and then it kicks you out like perfectly on the spot.
Huh.
And if you look at it was like super new because all the houses in there were new and stuff too. I don't think they were supposed to connect because if you didn't go that way, there was another way around.
That took like a shortcut.
Yeah, because Google is it's like me when I'm playing these open world games, right?
Straight line.
Well, yeah. This is
right
like
off
so.
The cliff.
So yeah, it's like, well, if the pier in Los Santos is here and where I want to go is here, yes, I could take these roads and this one is round, but what I want is the straightest line possible, and that means like going through the warehouse, right? So
through the graveyard.
Yeah.
You know?
Golf courses, huh?
Golf
That's
course,
what
my
you
golf course.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember that, and it's weird because it's almost like when you get there, it's almost like preview not available. It's weird. It's like, yeah, do this, but it was so new that
There's no official road, but we know it's the way to go.
yeah, that's
well,
why
it does it by watching other people do it. So, yeah, that's why you get fucked on Google, you know, because they'll change something, but then, you know, a year ago, 1,000 people went that way. So, but now the old man has put up some fucking K-rails there and you can't get through it. Google doesn't know that.
Well, I watched this thing where this guy in like Amsterdam or he was in England, I think. He had like just a wagon, and he bought a whole bunch of cell phones and turned on Google Maps on all of them.
Why?
Because it made it look like there was a traffic accident, and so everybody was diverting.
Yep, that'll
and so
do
he
it.
was like able to just like walk on the street by himself.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and make a fucking YouTube video out of it.
Yeah.
Monetize me. Go hit my Patreon if you want to see more things like this.
All right.
So don't forget your Surfshark.
There's a guy out there. I think. Now I don't have a problem with this because I always return the cart. But there's this dickhead that hangs out in parking lots.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
Pat
about.
knows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he just harasses people that don't return their carts.
He'll throw magnets on their car. So that basically say, hey, I'm an asshole.
What?
Because they don't return their shopping carts.
And he irritates the crap out of people.
Do you have to return your shopping cart to the store or just to one of the bins?
He's
the
fine if
corrals.
there's a bin.
Okay.
Yeah, or a corral. Yeah.
And he just irritates the crap out of people. And see, the thing
He
is,
has millions of followers.
the thing is, I'm pretty sure that, like, look, again, it wouldn't bother me because I don't leave the cart out. But I don't care if people don't either. Because they have a Safeway goon that comes out there and rounds them up, like, every 45 minutes.
They should, yeah.
I don't care. But if this dude caught me on a day where I was like, nah, I'm going to leave it for the Safeway guy, I think I would have killed him.
There would have been a lot of views on that one. So, yeah.
Well, I mean...
Like, I shit you not. Like,
depends on where you're leaving the cart.
so,
Like, are you just, like, putting it in between the cars?
You gotta at least put it up on the rocks, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
where
don't
are you
want somebody
leaving a
in your
cart?
car.
Like...
well, so, like, for example, at the Safeway over here,
Yeah.
right? So, there's no good place to leave them in the regular slanted lines. You take them back, plus they have cart corrals, like,
Right.
every 2 feet.
Yeah, they do.
In one of the lines, right, there's this, like, no man's land, because it has the
dash
handicapped.
lines.
Yeah, because it has
Oh,
the
that's-
road
yeah.
between
Yeah,
the
that's
handicapped.
Yeah.
And if I parked it there, and this dude started giving me shit,
Yeah, there's plenty of room for a cart.
I would probably kill
Yeah.
him.
Now, if you are one of those people that does, like, put it...
Just takes up a spot.
Yeah, or they put it up in the front of the spot, so it's like...
He has been here, too.
Has he?
Yeah, so that's how I found him, like... I can't remember the guy's name, so...
I guess he's part of a show, and this is like a segment he does on there.
He's been doing this for a long time, man.
Yeah. And I guess
So-
that segment of his show took off so big that's what he
Yeah,
does.
that's basically what
Yeah.
he's been doing that for at least 5-6 years, though.
God damn.
So, yeah, it goes back. So,
Well, the thing is, there was a...
Doesn't that get old?
you'd be... So, like, I've learned so much about stupid-ass YouTube lately, but...
I have to talk to you about some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but, like, if you figure out that, okay, his videos take 5 minutes,
Right.
okay,
Generate
they're
5
not,
million
they
views.
generate, so many views, and, then on top of that, he does promotions on them, too, and stuff like that. It's basically a job. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, he'll do it until money stops coming in. So,
Somebody punched him?
he's gotten in a couple confrontations. I don't think I've seen somebody flat out deck him. So,
Well, because what he normally does, if that happens, he runs inside the store.
oh yeah, he does. Yeah,
Yeah.
if someone starts chasing him, he goes inside the store. I have seen him do that.
Gotcha.
Whereas I wouldn't, like, argue with him.
Just
I would just
straight
grab
kill.
him and start hitting him.
You just grab him and start pounding him.
No, because he's actually, there was a segment, I know where he got this idea from, right? Because these lunatics in Russia, okay, which goes without saying, what they would do is Russians will not hesitate to drive down like a park lane or a park trail to avoid traffic on the sidewalk, right? So these guys, and I don't remember what this is in Russian, but basically it's called stop an asshole. Now, instead of magnets, okay, because what these guys have is this dickhead has a magnet with like a sign on it, right?
Yeah, it's just like a refrigerator magnet. He'll throw it on your car.
So these fucking lunatic Russians, what they would do is, that's not it. They have a sticker this big, the size of a manhole cover.
Put the sticker on
and
your
they
car.
will put the sticker on your windshield. And while you're working on the windshield, they'll put it on your car. And on the top, and the thing is, it doesn't come off with one scoop. This is like, you have to have like the tool to get it off.
Oh, great.
Right?
Oh.
Because...
that would definitely get you punched here.
Well, and here's the thing. Those guys got shot at. Guys, I mean, like, no fucking around. Like, because, like, there were plenty of people, right? That was the scary thing about watching this was they'd stop this car on a, like, and these people were just kind of like, oh, well, I'm just trying to go to this gas station. I don't need to use the road. And every now and then,
so civilized compared to that.
it's we live in a fucking society.
We live
Patrick.
I know. We live in utopia.
And every now and then you would see like this girl would get out of the car. This is like they're like practically putting it on a fucking McLaren, right? This girl would get out of this car who looks like she's 29, right? And she has diamonds on her ears the size of like quarters, and she's wearing this like fancy shit. And she would get out of the car when they're stickering this, right? And this is just, she's like this pretty girl, and she's like, do you know who my husband is?
Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, and then like goons would show up.
Goons.
Russian goons would show up.
Hired goons.
Yeah, I shit you. This shit was like dangerous. But I was like, okay, I got it. So the sanitized smart version of this is exactly, because the dude gives people grief when he's in the parking lot. It's like,
he does.
It's like, you know, it's like, well, you chased me around the car 2 times. It's like, yeah, it's like, that's as much more energy than it would have taken to go ahead and move that over there to that rack.
Yeah, he's
just a jerk.
I followed him for a bit, but yeah, once I realized that it doesn't get better.
Nope.
So, you know, it's not like, oh, I just caught a bad one. He provokes those fights. So
who's the douchebag? You probably know this too. Who's the douchebag that goes into like Target and sees like where they mislabeled like an electric toothbrush, and he goes to the counter and starts arguing. It's like, well, you labeled it for $2.99.
There's a couple guys who do that. There's other guys who are going into Costco now and stuff like that, and taking the meat stickers off one meat and putting it on a different one. So I'm like,
that's stealing.
yeah, not only is that dumb, that's illegal.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tase you. So, yeah.
It's one thing to catch them making a mistake.
But they don't have to honor that.
No, they don't have to honor that.
No.
They don't have to sell you something just because it's got a sticker on it that says it's this price. So
But to swap the barcodes and then go...
that's flat out illegal, yeah.
Stealing.
So this is just as bad as the guys
And
who
you're recording your own evidence.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. They if you're in the Costco or the Walmart's the place where they see every square inch of you, find minute detail, no matter what you do. I've seen guys try and do shit like that in Walmart too, and they'll just like, yeah, you swapped the sticker. So wait here while the cops come. So
Are you talking about a store that has like better surveillance equipment than the NSA?
yeah, it'd be Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, that can recognize your face. It's
You
like,
might get away with it in Target, but not Walmart.
yeah, it's like, well,
And yet they had to close the self-checkout lanes for a while until they could get security guards because people were just leaving.
Yeah.
well, that and they like. There are people that are like, well, actually, I'm going to cover up the camera on the self-checkout thing.
That doesn't work. The other 12 can see you. Yeah. God, man. Yeah, no. So like I've seen maybe not the guy who does that specifically, but I've seen people do things like that, you know. So I've seen them on shorts where, hey, this is how you get free steak. And it's like, that's how you go to jail. So, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was a guy that one of his shticks was you go to McDonald's. Mm-hmm. You go there when there's not when it's just by itself, but when there's a little bit of a line forming in the drive-thru.
Yep.
And you order, you go to the front of the window, you say like, I forgot my wallet. Then you go to the next window, and then you just take the food at the next window.
I've seen people do that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, people do absolutely stupid things and record themselves doing it.
You know, my whole take on this, right, and this is one of the stipulations. I've floated this before online, and it always gets some support, is I make the argument that, much like a hate crime stipulation, if what you're doing is for the purpose of filming or entertainment like that, there should be an additional charge.
Like a hate crime charge?
That is correct. There should be a... Because, again, it's the same thing. If you're doing this and you're fucking interrupting my flight, if you're...
Oh, I hate those, man. Oh, man.
You have to, like...
Yeah.
From your history, and it's like... I know the rules. It's like, I can toss you at any time for any reason. If it...
Yeah, Leo Page, gate 8. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Leo Page, gate 8, please. So, yeah, no, it's just... it infuriates me when you see people trying to pull shit like that. You know?
If you're filming yourself, if you're doing this for any kind of like online purpose reason, I feel like that should be like a plus 15%, whatever it is. Whatever the charge, you get 15% more.
I agree, because you're proving you're knowingly
Correct.
doing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that there's this fucking kid that hired a bodyguard and he walks around just
Punching people.
or just bothering people, right?
And then you have that guy step in when they get ready to roll up on him. Yep, I've seen that guy.
Oh my god.
Again, it's the same thing. It's like, I'd go to the trunk. It's like, you can get out of the way. You can both get shot. I don't care. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because I'm going to, like, you should step away, because if you do, I'm just going to beat the crap out of this child. If you defend him, I will shoot you both. And on top of it, if there's multiple, that's the other thing. The worst thing for me is when I'm watching these videos, right? Because Patrick does some of this too, although he's more of a like, watch this mind blow up these dudes.
Yeah, exactly. The war porn. Yeah.
I'm a little.
I had to take a little break. It was pretty bad last week.
I get a little bit more into
This isn't healthy.
I get a little bit more into the ghetto stuff where I'm watching like fights and all these kind of things. And again, it's the same thing where how do I have 8 different shots of this from 8 different angles and not one of you is breaking this up? Why am I watching this grandma get the crap kicked out of her, but 8 of you are filming this?
Because being a good Samaritan gets you in trouble.
Well, it depends what country it is, too.
Yeah.
Well,
There's definitely some cultural stuff. If it's happening in China, nobody will look. Nobody will do anything. So...
They can't.
I guess, you know...
Yeah, but
that's
you
just...
should,
yeah,
but...
no, don't get involved. It's not your business. So, you know...
And I understand, like, a lot of this is sort of the exception. I wouldn't be seeing the videos of people stepping in and shutting this down, right?
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah,
you
that's
do.
different kind of content.
You see it on Fox. They're happy to show the person that stands up to the guy in the subway that's beaten up. Like,
oh, yeah.
Fox is happy to show those things.
You know what? They're the superior
Whatever
network.
happened to that guy?
He's still waiting on trial.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, they didn't dismiss it?
I don't know.
Oh.
They haven't yet.
It's gotta be. It's been a
while. Yeah.
Yeah.
They might have, and it just.
Yeah.
No,
Obviously, I'm guessing it got thrown out. Otherwise, it probably would have been a bigger deal.
Maybe, I don't know. I was reading the other day, there's like, what is it, the entire command staff, the NYPD is quitting. So...
Oh, because the mayor fired whoever it was?
They had something to do with corruption.
those that are not under indictment, yes.
What were they under indictment for?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They have been raiding houses like crazy. If you're part of the mayor's
Who has
staff,
been raiding houses?
the FBI, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you meant the mayor was.
He's had his shit raided, but everybody that's on his staff has had the FBI show up to their house and turn it over. There is something bad going on in that place.
Well, I just saw the resignation, and I was like, huh. So, but then he was like, nah, let's left swipe on that. Just not one of my 3 stories that I'm bird dogging yet. So, I only park in 3 cars, man.
Okay.
Well, I'm guessing you guys already talked about the debate and all. Did you guys?
Kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, new information came out as of today.
On the debate?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay.
It's Sunday. There's only one thing about Sundays.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
What the fuck happened anyway? We can talk about that later.
All right. I'll give you today's news. You take for what was it. So there's a signed affidavit from an ABC News employee, right, that basically details these are the conditions that were agreed to by ABC and Kamala Harris. He said, these are the ways, and he says, like, I also have recordings of this, right? But there's a signed affidavit that basically says only one side will be fact-checked. She has the questions in advance. They are not the exact same questions.
No, they could be the topics, though.
But you will have the questions in advance. We will film it this way, right, as to make it look, favorable in this regard, right? There are like 5 or 6 things stipulated in this. Just, again, signed affidavit to this effect. Redactions are in place. Right? And he says, I also have recordings of this.
Okay, not surprised.
And so much to the point where, what's her name? Lindsay, whoever the...
Is it sorority sister?
Yeah, it's not that. She admitted today that they're only fact-checking one side. Because they didn't expect her to say things that would be fact-check worthy. Even though she was lying through her fucking teeth the whole show.
I mean... But what does that do now?
Well, if you're doing a debate that has a fact check section,
right,
and you only fact check one side,
right,
and admit that you're doing it,
yeah, but what's illegal here?
Well, I'm not talking about the crime.
Oh, okay.
Look, this is just basically like if
proving that it was.
I don't think you're going to really convince anybody on one side or the other. I don't think the debate did anything for anybody.
No, the only thing... Okay, so I don't think it moved the needle on anybody, but it's the Tim Donaghy thing. It's basically like, you keep doing things that... Okay, so the whole thing where they're like, they got on his ass, it's like, nobody's eating cats in Ohio. It's like, well, actually, here's the evidence that says that's not true. Here's police reports that says they've been receiving calls about this, right?
That's such a mud show right now, I don't think you can...
But you can't fact check it and say that's not true.
Absolutely not.
No,
which they
been
did.
Absolutely flooded with like all kinds of weird bullshit over the last couple of days. They need to move off that, man. So,
actually, they don't. It's actually
he wasted a whole week talking about this, man. He is running out of time, so he's going to get back on issues.
Why would he not want another debate on Fox?
On Fox, I would.
She's not going to agree to it.
She's not going to agree to it.
Not on Fox.
She might.
I thought the second one she said it's okay on Fox, and he turned it down.
But I think that's a smart move on his part. He needs to stop paying attention to what the fuck she's doing and things like that. Just get out there and do his thing, which is remarkably effective when he does it. So.
Dude, he was shot at today.
What? He was shot at today?
Yes, on the golf course.
Really? I didn't know.
They didn't break football to tell you this?
My football doesn't break.
This happened...
Oh, yeah. My football wouldn't break either.
This happened about 8 hours ago.
How many hours ago?
8 hours ago.
He was shot at?
Yes.
Did he get hit?
No.
Did they kill the guy?
No. They have him in custody.
Oh, good. That one worked out better.
Yeah, he was shot at. Secret Service piled on him, and they captured the guy.
And where was he?
He was on the golf course. I don't remember specifically which one. The dude was basically... So, the guy was... There's a hole that's about 300 yards away from the street. So, the dude was on the street when he was getting close to that hole. And that's where he shot at him.
Oh.
Yeah, that's assassination attempt number 2.
That's interesting. I
Wow.
didn't see that.
Happened today.
And they didn't kill the guy.
Nope.
That's interesting.
Matter of fact.
All right, well, I'll put that one on the docket for stories that I need to go bird dog. Thanks for breaking news for me, Tim.
I mean, look, they're going to get information out of him. The thing is, dude
Well, if
had
he ain't dead.
Yeah, he has a again, like the major networks tried to point him out as like a right guy. It's like, dude, his Twitter account is still up.
Oh yeah, well we can scrub through that real quick.
Oh yeah,
So,
no, it's all there. He's a far left fucking lunatic. He basically he like tried to recruit. He has been like recruiting people to fight in Ukraine. He has tons of like anti-Trump stuff in there, right?
That makes sense.
So I mean, this is the thing is like, y'all didn't hear about it. I got it. Now, this is Sunday. In many ways, should be a day
wasn't
free
really
of.
watching the news today.
It should be a day free of news. This is a Shabbat. You should be like free of.
All I can say is if the news does happen, it does not come on my network. Because literally, it's the Red Zone channel, so they don't break. And then when the Bronco game comes on, as soon as a commercial would come up, I flip to the Red Zone channel.
Chasing rabbits.
So yeah, I wouldn't. And I guess my phone doesn't give me notice for assassinations.
I got all my notifications off, man.
You know what? And it's fine. Maybe I'm a little bit back into it just because I served the timeout on Twitter. All right.
You
A
served
new
the
one?
timeout?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get busted, Jeff?
I got busted.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Because I told
Even
them.
under the guidance of like the new ownership, he
Yes,
still got busted.
I told the dude at the Washington Post to slap himself, and that was enough of a threat of violence.
Oh,
How long was your timeout?
yeah.
One day.
Oh, that's
Oh.
not bad. Yeah.
But
How
so
many-
Maybe that's just a health timeout. It's like, man, I think you've done enough for one day.
How many
You know, kind of-
followers did you get because you said it?
it doesn't matter. You have to remove the tweet.
Oh, that's true.
But
Yeah.
people can't follow you because of it, and that's already locked in.
Yeah, it's not recorded that way.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
See, like on YouTube, I can tell when I get new followers based on a video. So, but you can't do that on Twitter.
No, you can.
How?
You can. You go to the analytics.
And it shows you like this tweet, and you got 3 followers because of this tweet. Oh, I never.
And you
saw
can look
that
at
in
it. You
there.
can look at it per time range. There's advanced analytics in there. You can sort it a million different ways. But yeah, so
So it doesn't show that you got a spike that day?
I wouldn't get a spike on that.
Oh.
I get spiked for the dumbest stuff, dude. You don't.
dog pictures.
It's sometimes. I mean, like the thing is, it's really like you're. It is rare when your best stuff ever takes off. Usually, it is a throwaway comment that goes nuts, right? Where you're like, it's just like I don't really have anything good, but I'm just going to throw this out there. And sometimes really people like glom to it, or it's just the first one up there, or like, again, I'm trying to remember. There was one that was so stupid, but it took off huge. Yeah, I think it was the Doritos one. I told you guys about this
Yeah,
one.
you told me about this one.
Yeah, that one went fucking gangbusters. I'm like, I say better stuff than this like 20 times a day. But it's like, this is the one that took off.
Damn.
And this is where one dude is like, I showed you. It's like, I bought this and I framed it. I put it on my wall. Like, good for you, man. Okay, well, is that your philosophy? It was like, stick around to see the good stuff, right? But yeah, that's the weird thing about it. And I was legitimately pissed at because this dickhead was like, it's the Washington Post. They're a fucking.
What did he say to
Yeah, I'm surprised you even read them, Jeff. So,
Well, again, they're an easy target.
so you're content farming.
Maybe.
Got it.
So basically, it was an opinion column about. Here's why. It was basically an abolish the electoral college kind of like. Here's why we need to bring back majority rule.
Okay.
And this is
we never had that though.
well, it's like this is why it's gaining steam. And
I used to buy into that, and I changed my mind probably about 10 years ago.
why?
You helped me with that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was protection of minority rights.
Correct.
Yeah. So now, like, there are problems in terms of like overrepresentation of certain groups, but
Correct.
that's okay. That's going to happen.
Things like
regardless.
California be broken up into like 3 states.
No, I don't want any more states.
Like
so,
Nebraska
I mean, we
and
got a
Maine
nice
does.
round 50. That's a good number.
Well, I mean,
So,
just like
yeah.
like Nebraska and Maine have 2 Like they split their electoral
No, I'm good, man. That's sweet enough for me.
college?
Huh?
Like Nebraska and Maine split theirs?
Yeah, but I mean, that would basically hotwire the electoral college, and if a state wants to do that, that's totally up to them. I don't think that should actually be imposed from the federal government.
Oh, yeah, fair.
But if people vote for that and say, hey, man, like this state would be a good example of that. Okay, we've got a corridor that starts about 30 miles north of there,
Yep.
and then goes all the way up to Wyoming. All right, that basically tells the rest of the state what's up. So, which is fine. There's a lot of states that are like that, but when it comes down to it, what happens in places like Maine and Nebraska is they become irrelevant. So very quickly,
You get one no more.
there's a lot of people who are saying, "Oh yeah, there's one. It's going to come down to 270, 270." It's not going to fucking happen. So it's not going to fucking happen. It's just clickbait. Content farming by poll guys.
Much like the upcoming United States Civil War. That's not going to happen
That's not
either.
going to happen either. No, man, I've never met two people who were so like into the political things that they felt the need to like take up arms against each other and go rob a Costco. So,
There's been
for
like
supplies.
There's been like one time when people in Ohio and people in Michigan shot at each other from across a lake.
Across a lake, and that was like 18.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, man. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It happened, but it was a while ago.
Yeah. Well, and then, I've seen a lot of that, like, historical bullshit about, parallels between now and the Civil War. There's tons of misinformation out there about that. Well, it's not misinformation. It's like
deliberately misinterpreted information.
Yeah,
it's misapplied information.
Yeah, it's misapplied
What's
information.
the main point of contention? Like, because that was slaves.
Well, that's the thing. Is are we talking about slaves or are we talking about states' rights, Will? So, I don't know.
Okay.
So,
I was
but
like, huh.
Yeah, the right to own slaves.
Yeah. I was like, all right.
As you so eloquently
right,
put, yes.
Big point of contention. I can get that. What?
Yeah, but there's like this whole idea that there's an urban and rural split. That's true, but rural society is tiny compared to the amount of people. You guys know this. You went out there and you drove through it, man.
Yep. 100%.
So yeah, and then the other thing is that there's this idea between, I don't know, like the rich and poor thing. I don't buy it anymore. So as much as I did before. So because there's just not that many rich guys. So, and then the other thing is that you can find poor people who are going to vote blue. You're going to find poor people who are going to vote red.
Oh, yeah.
So, and so that one doesn't hold up under any amount of scrutiny right there. So, if we're going to have a civil war, tell me what the cut line is. Okay? Who gets to be shirts and who gets to be skins? So, and nobody can really do that. So, not without, like, the malinformation or misapplied interpretation.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it seems like you have some thoughts about this here.
No, I was just trying to think of what would... I can't think of what would split and make any sense, like...
They can't even do it along racial lines. I mean, look how many Mexicans are going to vote for Donald Trump this fall. So, a lot. So that one doesn't work anymore.
Well, and here's the biggest thing. This is the part that people are really fucked up on. I was like, let's say that it was upon racial lines. Okay, well, people would be shocked to know that the majority of black people live in Republican states.
Yeah, they do.
Right down that little line there from Florida to Texas.
America's frown.
Which is interesting because this is where the circular argument. This is always my favorite thing. This is the most delightful thing on the planet, right? Is when people go down there and say like it's all about demographics. Like, let me talk. It's like the stupidest states in the union. They're all red states, and then people take that same graph and say like, oh, this graph where all the black people live. You say, so what are you saying? What do you say? Well, that's not what we mean. It's like, okay, so what do you mean?
Well, that's not even where most of them live. I mean, that's the hilarious thing. I mean, you take your 5 major urban centers in the United States, and there's going to be more African Americans living in those places than there are in those 5 fucking states. So, I mean, Well, so it doesn't even work. So, as an argument, because they're all, with the exception of maybe Georgia, very rural states. So.
Well, and hold on. Many parts of Georgia are still plenty rural. That's not where they live, though, for the most part.
No, they all live in Atlanta. Yeah.
Or close to it, yeah.
Yeah, well, the same thing's true with Texas. Everybody in Texas lives in 3 cities, or you live out in the fucking boonies. So,
Which is like Canada.
Yeah, it is kind of like Canada. Yeah.
You either live next to America, or you have the rest of the continent to yourself.
Actually wrestle grizzly bears. Yeah, I get it. So you have to tie your meat up.
Like, I'll bet you, like, some of the hardest motherfuckers on the planet live in that part of Canada. I don't know, but I'll never be there.
You don't want them to come to town. Yeah, that's exactly. Both of them. So I don't know, man.
Well, they say that the division there is supposed to be like the sides are going to center on New York and California versus Texas and Florida.
Yeah, maybe.
And how do you divide that from there? I don't know, because you have this weird spattering of blue states over here, like where we are, in between like Nevada and.
It would never cut along state lines.
It couldn't.
It can't.
It absolutely couldn't.
Yeah, and it can't cut, like, Texas will never actually, like, I mean, the federal government is such a huge customer of Texas. So, or I guess the other way around, if Texas is such a huge customer of the federal government, it would never happen. So every time they bring up those secession arguments, they know they're blowing smoke up their own tailpipe. So,
And vice versa. I mean...
Absolutely, yeah. So,
And then you say, like, what state differences could you have a fight over? It's like, abortion? It's like, no, it's
that's
not even
big enough. Yeah,
no.
Most people actually kind of agree on that. So,
And more to the point, you actually have more freedom with it now than you ever did to be able to say, like, you know what, I'm going to stay in California because of this. I'm going to stay in Minnesota because of this.
Or what you do is you've actually got it within reach of being able to change it if you don't like it. I mean, before it was impossible, but now, like, even if you're in, like, Alabama, that takes it back to whatever it was, 1864. Or no, that was Arizona that tried to do that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, basically, if you have an abortion, we're going to hang you. So, well, okay, fine. Fucking show up at the polls next fall. So you've got an open constitution where you can actually put referendums on there, so have at it. That's way easier than trying to get something through the fucking Supreme Court. So.
And check this out. And let's say it's absolutely hopeless for you in that regard.
Move.
Well, move or check this out. No. Or if you need one, drive.
Yeah, drive or move. Yeah, vote with your feet.
Well, if you just need one, it's like, well, I can't buy fireworks here, but I can buy them in Pennsylvania.
I can get them right across the street,
exactly.
In Cheyenne. I don't even have to make it to Cheyenne, although I will stop at the McDonald's there. So, because it's about 2 minutes further.
Patrick, see, the thing is, McDonald's in Wyoming, don't treat it like it's a Wyoming McDonald's. It's like the embassy. It's like
it's where you have to check in before you get in the papers, please. So,
you're still on like Colorado soil. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty close.
It's like Canada to the U.S.
Yeah,
it's right on Colorado's border. It's
right.
Yeah, you're not in Wyoming. You're still in America. So it's like if you go to a McDonald's, you're on the embassy. So
it means like Douglas is up in the Hudson Bay. We're not taking a trip; it's an expedition,
right? And you got to remember that the rules don't apply to it. It's not like you're in like Singapore. So like they're not gonna like fucking cane you for spray painting McDonald's in Wyoming because it's on American soil.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. So, yeah, I don't know.
But no, so
we've got a month, man. So that he needs to get going if he wants to win. So.
No, he's fine.
I don't think he's fine, man.
I've heard so many different polls of all these things.
You can't really trust the polls right now.
No idea.
The thing that you got to look is, like, the aggregate polls are still pretty good, and they show that it's a toss-up. So, if it's a toss-up game, man, you got to fucking play. So, and I don't know, like, yeah, I agree. I agree with him. I don't think he should do another debate. I think it's a waste of time. It'll take an entire news cycle away from him again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, he needs to. There are 5 states out there. He just needs to napalm with handshakes.
Okay.
So,
Question for you. You know how Kamala keeps saying that it's all about the whatever the project 2025 is or whatever.
yeah,
And he keeps saying, well, that's not my policy.
it's not.
But he always follows up by saying, I haven't even read it.
I haven't either. It's like fucking 3,000
Have you
pages.
seen it?
Yeah.
I tried reading it. I read like 6 pages. Said, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's a waste of my time. I was like,
Complete waste of your time.
I should say, and somebody summed it up for me. I'm like, this is all fucking no shit kind of like.
No, it's done by the Heritage
Yeah.
Foundation, and it's not. There is some shit in there that's really fucked up. Okay, but it's like basically like the fucking Sears wish book.
Yes.
So there's no way you're gonna buy everything in it. So you
I was
know.
like, are you really telling me you didn't look at this thing? Like your name's
Dude, I don't think
associated with
he's
it
read
all
a
the
newspaper
time.
in 10 years. So, you know,
Bro, okay, so
if it's not on Twitter, it didn't happen as far as he's concerned. So, or if Don Jr. didn't bring it to me. So,
yeah.
or it's not even Don Jr. Who's the lady that they were tearing apart this week?
Laura Loomer.
Yeah. So, yeah. So,
Look, and she said, I mean, here's the thing: is that again? That's another smokescreen. This is just another fucking like. This is another like loser YouTuber, right?
Mm-hmm.
That basically like gloms onto this and is using this for a little bit of clout.
I
Right?
remember her from a couple. Wasn't she running for Senate or something? She had a campaign that was
She
basically
probably-
a YouTube thing.
So I think she did, but it's in
Yeah.
the same. It's in the same vein as fucking like Chunk Yoiger was, where he was running for Congress too,
Oh, he ran for
or
president.
president.
He
Yeah,
ran for
yeah,
president.
yeah. It's the same kind of.
And he wasn't even born in the United States, but he's like, we'll get that changed. It's like, oh, you're doing this for clicks, bro. Got it. You know,
It's the same. Like he gets as many votes as like fucking Alfred E. Newman gets on write-in day. You know, in
Right,
terms
right,
of
right,
that.
yeah.
So I'm like, no, this is just another fucking dumbass. Like, look, I've seen like the right-wing circuit of people who are. There are some believers in there,
There are.
and there are some people getting paid. Okay, like here's the thing.
2 of them have Trump as last name. One of them is followed by Junior. I'm gonna do my own NFT, man. I saw that
I think
yesterday.
That dude.
I was like,
is
oh,
just
come on, man.
Like yeah, that dude's he's an opportunist like his father. I don't think he believes in anything, and that's
I
fine.
don't think so either. I do think that he's actually the guy who actually got him to pick J.D. Vance, though. So there's some compelling evidence for that.
You know what? And as time goes by, at first I thought he was a weirdo. That dude's actually solidified in my view.
He's fine, but if Trump loses, he's doomed.
Well, yeah,
So,
I don't think his future is tied to that wagon. He's not enough of his own man in that regard to elevate from that.
Yeah.
No,
Well, the same thing's true with Tim Walz. If she loses, we'll never see him again. So.
I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah, but I mean, you said it the other day that the VP spot in both tickets this year is irrelevant.
I think
So,
they cancel each other out.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think they cancel each other out. They're just like, what do you have here? It's like, all right, we'll go like slot for slot. It's like, doughy white guy. Yep, got him on both sides. They are.
Yeah.
It's just like you have both of you guys have like indiscernible chins. I get it. Have you?
Tim Walz doesn't have any guy liner though, so he could up his game a little bit there.
Again, it's the same. It's the same thing as I look at Vance. I'm like, would you look better or worse without that fucking like weird Miami Vice stubble that you have on your face the whole time? It's like,
yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call.
it's the same thing. It's like you both look weird. Okay, you both take one step further than your presidential, counterpart, right? So that you have that ability to hide behind, well, this is not the president, this is me saying this, taking a step further than the other person, right? So you both have this going on, and once you get into that territory, it gets fucking weird. It gets
is
really weird.
yeah.
Because there is a part on the Overton window here on the left where they're like, you know what? Some of this identity shit goes way too far. That's what Tim Walz gives you. Kamala Harris has not spoken about this at all. They let her walk on the whole thing where she signed in 2019. Like, yes, I do believe in gender reassignment surgery for inmates, right? That's in writing. They let her slide on it.
Yeah.
Tim Walz can talk about it all day long, but she's kind of like stepped away from that. I was like, I don't remember saying that.
Well,
right?
it's up to the voters to hold her accountable.
She just says, I didn't say it in 2020.
Dude, again, it's the same shit.
I've
It is the
changed my
same.
position since then.
But no, she says I haven't changed any of my values.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, she said that. She said, I haven't changed my values, but I want to do fracking now. It's like, okay, so
Right.
yeah, no, I think everybody sees that. The question is, do they care? So because really, it comes down to like Orange Man's still bad for a lot of people. So,
But
like,
was your money better?
Huh?
Was your money better under the Orange Man?
See, that's what he needs to do. He needs to get out there, stop talking about fucking cats, and get out there and talk about that.
Yeah.
So,
But he does, Pat. That's the thing.
yeah, he does, but he does it to the same fucking people every single day, man. So his same crowd on Twitter, his sons, his little like following that is never going to grow beyond 45%. So he needs to go and do that face to face with people out there who live in those 5 fucking
Bro,
states.
no. This is the thing that you were just making.
Yeah.
He does that every day. This you got to understand something here. Okay.
What do I not
The
understand?
thing is not he's not going out there and campaigning on cats.
Right.
Okay. The thing is, ABC, NBC, CNN.
Right.
Okay. What they do is they'll ignore 95% of you're broke. I get it. It sucks. These people did this to you. Okay. Then what they'll do is they'll filter out the 3% of this where he says like they're cooking cats, right?
Yep.
And they'll say this is his entire message,
No,
right?
I got you.
That doesn't mean that he's campaigning on this. He's campaigning on the people in the audience. They know. Okay.
I've heard a bunch of his campaigns on Fox because like I leave it on, and if I go to the store or something comes
Yeah, they'll cover him.
and he's going on. He constantly is about the Venezuelans and,
Yes.
and all the criminals and all this stuff, and he says it like every single time.
Correct.
He does not say about your money nearly as much as this.
No, but are you watching the whole thing? Yes, he does go on about those things.
I mean,
but
but it's the same message over and over and over.
Exactly.
Again. Yeah, but see, that's my point. Is if he does rallies, people who are thinking about voting for him probably made up their mind at this point in time.
most of them, yeah.
And so, okay, just repeating the same message to the same people, they're going to vote for you. That's great. Okay, so now it's time to either focus on turnout, which he really should do, because it's probably too late to convince anybody. So the question is, do more of his guys show up than people who don't like him? And I don't think he's doing a good job of that right now.
And all I know is the few times that I was late or too early switching to try and get out of the commercials, it was always Kamala Harris commercials.
Oh, really?
I did not see a single Trump.
Here in Colorado?
I saw, and this was only in the times that I was flipping back and I caught late, 3 Kamala Harris commercials today.
Really?
Just during the Bronco game.
See, that's a mistake. Why is she spending money here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they did have a poll here again, like maybe 2 weeks ago.
It's gotta be solid her.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Well, this is okay.
yeah.
This is again where take into accountability of the polls here of what this matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this part where you say, well, all right, I don't trust these numbers, and you don't, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at this and you flip around and you say, all right, well, compared to this time last year, even going into the election, right? It was like Biden +6,
Yeah.
which means for me, and again, I don't know how much that changes in 4 years. I don't know how much of this is worthless. I don't know. And you and I have talked about the I don't know if the people that you do get are representative of people that are going to vote. But
Yeah, that's
if that's the case, they're probably not changing their methods that much. And if you're seeing basically even or +1, +2 on the other person,
it's all margin error.
there's still a huge discrepancy on who's actually going to vote.
Yeah. So they do likely voters and then they do registered voters. So you can see the different polls for each one of them. They're all basically the same. So
if the methodology is even remotely the same as last time, it's like, actually, he's doing much, much, much better.
some of it's better and some of it is the same. So
But what I can say is in the swing states, he's leading.
yeah, then those are the ones that he needs to win. So Pennsylvania in particular, if she doesn't hold Pennsylvania, she loses. So it's that simple. It really does come down to one fucking state. So and it's that one. So but because that one chokes off all paths to victory for her if she loses it. So, and if he loses it, he's still got like 4 other ways to win. So, including that weirdo one where it comes down to 270, which is basically like getting fucking 0-0. So it's theoretically possible.
It is.
So, but it wouldn't matter because then the Supreme Court would decide that.
I thought it went to Congress.
No. So.
Well, no, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's never been done that way, and so
yeah, it does go to Congress.
That's what they say, all right. But you got to go back and actually take a look at the 2000 ruling with George W. Bush and Gore. And so, if it were to come down that close, all right, so it'd be within a margin of error of so many votes on the national scale for a single state. I guarantee you, it would not go to Congress until the courts had actually had a stab at it. So
the only reason it went to the Supreme Court in that case is because they had questions about how it was counted,
and that whoever loses that would make that argument, and it would go in the courts. I guarantee fucking to you. So I will put money on that.
If there's money on a 0-0 situation, so like, that's
just covering the spread.
Yeah, that's great for everyone because the fucking House wins on that one, and people are putting money on the election like crazy anyway. So so the House wins that one.
Ooh, I wonder what the money is.
Oh, you can look at it.
For what?
What the odds are?
Of what?
The odds are Trump, as of right now.
Yeah, they're like 51-49 though. So. Yeah, the betting markets are great to watch. So they're
that's why I've actually been watching them a little bit closer than the polls.
Well, and a lot of smart people have been too, man. Even pollsters watch those now. So because there's a lot of people who put a lot of work into it. It's like they did blow the waltz thing. So.
On who she would choose?
Yeah, they did blow that one.
No one saw that coming.
Yeah, and so that one was kind of tough. Well, I mean,
like
there was
two guys
that's
did.
betting on 0-0.
No, like 2 guys did because they thought she would take. They're like, "What's the cowardly answer that she could take?"
No, it wasn't insubstantial. It was like 30%. So odds on that. So that's still rolling a 1 or a 2. So on a 6. So it's not terrible.
Okay.
But it's just not likely. So, their money was...
I did not even hear that guy's name until...
me neither. The smart money was all on Shapiro.
Yeah.
So, and there's like some stuff out there showing that cost her like 10 points in Pennsylvania.
I bet.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. We'll find out soon.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't even take that chance. Like,
I don't know.
That was loved in Pennsylvania. Like, why that...
I heard a couple different reasons. Like, one of them was that he had some pretty nasty stuff in his background.
Yes, that was part of it.
And that was true of him and the guy in Arizona. The astronaut dude.
Oh.
Yes.
There was something that was supposedly like going on in his background that people didn't want to come out either. So it was like, all right. But then I heard the same thing was true of Trump's guy, the South Dakota dude. Burgum. Who was a favorite there for a little bit, that he's actually got some gnarly shit, so that they didn't want to come out, and so at least J.D. Vance was like, well, you haven't been around long enough to fuck up that bad.
Hey man, the fact of the matter is, none of us, I don't think any of us there was no way, frankly, I thought there was no way that Trump's running mate wouldn't be a woman.
I thought it was going to be Kristi Noem.
I did too until the dog thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
as soon as that came out, I'm like, no, you must divorce yourself.
I thought for sure it was going to be Kristi Noem because she is totally his type, man.
Well, and the previous election, she was on Fox all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's gunning for...
I was pretty sure it was going to be her or Tim Scott. So
that was the other straight money.
Tim Scott would have been a good one. He's just in the wrong fucking state. If he had been in North Carolina, I think he would have been a lock. So, but he was just one state too far south.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. Yeah, that's true. So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so for right now, it's hard for me to say that the shit isn't working because if I go off of any kind of like conventional stuff for this, or again, I look at the polls, I'm like, this is not how it played. And 2016 was even worse, where it was like he was down by like 12.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about here. Is I'm like, I think it's actually, I don't think it's as close as they're making it out to be. And I'm going to tell you this, right?
You might be right.
The only reason I'm saying this here is. a lot of the information about this, about saying how close it is, how much every move of Harris is genius. Again, it's the same thing. Like, am I going to trust something that comes out of ABC when, again, this is documented? It's like 94% negative on this guy, 100% positive on the other. President of the network is like best friends with her. I'm like, no, I'm not going to trust anything that's coming out of here that's saying it's close. Saying it's close because the argument, there's way too many arguments here that people are making in terms of fifth degree chess that absolutely don't fill out, because they're saying like, well, they don't want them to say that they're polling closely because that gives a sense of urgency for people to come out there and show out. So the conspiracy theory is they want to say like it's further away, unless to like radicalize the base. It's like,
that
no,
makes my brain hurt.
it's like, no, none of this is happening. None of this is happening.
This is why I
There's
don't
no
play
way any of
Sudoku.
this is happening. It's just like, there's no version of this where this is happening, dude.
No, man. There's no evidence out there that her campaign is competent.
As a matter of fact, what you want to do here is you want to follow, in any circumstance or when it comes to business or voting, the only thing that you want to do is basically follow fucking Apple's model, okay? Where you want people to see you as successful so that they keep buying it. They find that success is successful. I want this one, right? And so if you keep pumping this up and saying like, this person is awesome, people will believe that, right? They do. It's the same mentality. It's the exact same
How
mentality.
many people are watching that?
Watch the debate?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like Super Bowl numbers.
Like what?
Well, not Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl for debates.
It came close. It was like regular football easily.
Regular football, but not Super Bowl.
It was
What's-
getting. It was.
Super Bowl's like 150 million people.
Is it? Still?
It said between that and the streaming things that this was at like 70 million. Like maybe didn't watch the whole debate, but watched portions of the debate.
I
okay.
doubt very many people watch the whole debate. I did subject myself to
Dude,
the
I
entire
got bored of
motherfucking
it.
thing.
I watched the whole thing.
I watched chunks of it, man. I found other stuff to do in the
I watched it
meantime.
when I was playing video games.
Yeah.
So,
I was looking at fucking weights.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
there's nothing that you have to actually watch.
But I haven't talked to a single person who said that, like, oh, the debate changed my mind. So,
Did you know people that were up in the air?
Yeah, like one or two. So, yeah.
I guess at a school you might know.
Oh, no, dude, everybody at my fucking school is going to vote for Kamala Harris. So, or secretly Trump. So, because that's just academia. That's how it works. So, but it's a very small part of the electorate, so don't worry about it too much.
I don't know anybody that isn't sure who they're going to vote.
Yeah, my mom is kind of on the fence right now. So
What?
Is she? Yeah, like there's like she'll go back and forth.
How?
Her thing is January 6th, man. So that really pissed her off. That really fucking pissed her off. So and she said, "Well, I'll never vote for that guy again." So she feels kind of like obligated to actually stick with that. So
Wow.
Yeah. So she's kind of there, but again, she's here in Colorado. It doesn't matter. So
No, but if
you
she-
can be as principled as you fucking want, and it doesn't actually have an effect on the election.
No, but if she's feeling that, then other people are feeling that too.
maybe, I don't know.
Well, there's
I don't
300
think
million of us. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure there's a few out there, but I mean, she's also like, I don't know. She's kind of like, well, if this is the last election I get to vote in, this fucking sucks. So,
bro, listen. I'm going to tell you this. When it came down to my takeaway from the debate, my takeaway was I don't like either of these people. I
No.
wish I had better candidates.
no, and that's why, like,
That was my takeaway.
I agree.
Yeah, I think
completely.
and that's pretty common consensus out there. My retort to that is, well, you fucking run then. So which
No, that doesn't work.
I know it doesn't work, but that's kind of the point.
That's
It's
the
like,
football argument. And
It is the football argument.
Who should you throw a better pass?
Throw a better pass, yeah, kind of thing. But it's like, okay, so if you can't actually compromise on anything because your principles are, that tied up in a candidate, then okay, get out. Like you're never gonna find that guy who fits exactly what you want. And so, what is it that you're willing to give up on certain things? So,
Somebody that just looks and feels like a president.
well, I mean, we had chances to do that.
know.
So, like, I mean,
I was
I don't
pulling
know.
for-
Yeah. Were you guys voting in the Republican primary? So so you got to do those things, man. So otherwise, you kind of get what you get. And so now, like, I think it's at this point in time, you got to decide, what do you want to lose? So, you know, like, which side do you want to lose?
That's not a good enough reason.
It's the best we got at the moment.
all we have right
Yeah.
now. You only have two choices.
Right now, dude, I just watched the Reagan-Carter debate. Okay? I just
quaint
watched
times.
this.
Go back and get me a cream soda.
Bro, you could...
It is a good debate, though.
Well, it's not just that it was a good debate, okay? It was like humidity, the dignity you could feel on your fingers from the people that were actually in office.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And I've said this before. There's no dignity in politics right now. None. Zero. Zero.
I think you find it on the state level here and there. So, you know.
Okay, well, I'm talking about the biggest stage right now, which is where most people are going to look. But, yeah, in terms of this, like... I cannot believe... Again, this is the same thing. You have to remember that I don't like what I get out of Trump. But on the other side, I have people that are like, she's wearing tennis shoes. That's my person. You have a person that has nothing of substance.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing of substance.
That qualifies you to, you know, be in charge of 2,500 nuclear warheads.
Thank you. and people are like, yep, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I think most people are saying that are not necessarily like excited about her. They just want him to lose. So, because they don't want him to be in charge of it again.
Best thing, the most positive thing I saw about Americans this week was that the Taylor Swift endorsement was a net negative instead of a positive.
Yeah.
I saw a funny meme where it was like, okay, they got Taylor Swift, but you do realize 90% of her songs are about how she chose the wrong guy.
No.
That's good. I like that one.
Taylor Swift, again, the whole thing, like, she is the Apple of basically music, is people listen to her because she's popular. Not because the music is particularly meritorious. There's nothing that she does that's better than anybody else out there. I can point at a million things like, this person writes a better song, this person's a better singer, right? Et cetera, et cetera. It is just, you have something in common with other people that listen to this, right? That's it. People who are Taylor Swift fans use her as a substitute for personality because they can't talk about other things.
Oh, come on, man.
No, fuck that.
I know fucking people who are Taylor Swift fans. They're
fuck that. No. Anybody...
Once you write this down for me, I'll go point it in front of people's faces. You know?
Are these people that would identify themselves as Swifties?
Yeah, one or two of them.
One or two of them would say that they're on the fringe extremes of how much they love this performer.
Well, I don't know if that's what a Swiftie is, but if
that's what a Swiftie is.
Then no, they're not Swifties. So
do they listen to other music? Do they?
Of course.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, but they like
I'm not saying that they're... What I'm talking about are people who basically identify themselves as proxies for this person. Like, they care what she does. Okay. Like, they care that she's made Travis
I don't know.
No, of course not.
I identify myself as a proxy for the Broncos.
You should be ashamed right now. I'm just kidding.
Actually, you know what? Why don't we can this for a second? Because it seems like this was an active football week.
Oh, well, not for the Broncos.
Why?
Because...
What's going on with our team?
Yeah, what's going on with the Broncos, Will?
He's scared.
Is he just running scared?
He is happy feet. He does not step into any throws yet. So...
Yet? Do you think it's coming?
He's going to be able to figure it out, but right now he is dancing all over the place, doesn't trust his line. He's got learning to do. So
is it all him? Or are there other parts of the team?
The defense has been fantastic.
Yeah.
So, they've done more than enough to win games. It's been dreadful offense. Sure, we're not running the ball, but they're also... Peyton's not calling good game. Like,
I hear tale amongst some of the members of the Orange family that they're just not terribly happy with Mr. Peyton. So at this point in time, and him and all his cronies need to pack the fuck up and go back to New Orleans.
No,
not that bad yet.
Wow.
Okay. Well, apparently he did. He did
games.
wipe out a whole shitload of the staff there and replace them with his guys.
Well,
So
that's fine.
yeah, I know, but
I
that's
don't mind
normal.
that.
Yeah, but I think that's where some of the frustration was coming from.
Just the difference between the preseason and regular season. Nix looked sharp and was able to go to, like, actually read and throw. Right now, he's dancing right off the bat.
Is that happening like preseason where you know that guy's not really going to hit you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or that they're not doing anything complex in defense. They're calling kind of vanilla stuff, so it's,
Right, get
it's
the new guys
easier
up to speed and
reads.
shit. Yeah, okay.
We were walking through it, all this kind of stuff. He'll get there. He gets it a little bit when there's less pressure. So when they're losing, he's able to just take his chances and throw the ball. He's going to make some mistakes. But like the interception today, he was like leaning backwards and just he's not stepping up into throws and just putting it where he needs to yet. So he'll get there. He'll get confidence. I don't know when.
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Well, it's the Buccaneers, and they just went into Detroit.
They did, yeah.
Is the next one. And then I think they're at the Jets.
Well, how are the Jets?
With Aaron Rodgers.
I gotta say the joke last week they got a good picture of him and they said it's the first moment that Aaron Rodgers finally realized that he signed with the Jets. And
Brett Favre had a very similar moment, didn't he? Is Aaron Rodgers going to be a Viking?
so here's my question: are the Jets any good?
They're all right.
They're all right?
Their defense lost some.
Okay.
So it's like I think their offense is okay. It's not gonna light up the world, but it's not terrible.
So who's truly scary in the league this year?
Well, the Chiefs always.
Yeah,
are.
okay.
The Chiefs just barely beat.
The Bungles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Bungles always give them. They're the only team that has.
Oh, give them a run for their money.
Burrow's the
Well, that's
only
true.
guy that's beaten
Yeah.
the Chiefs in the playoffs that's in the league.
That's true.
anymore.
yeah.
Everyone else is out. So
there's something about those two teams that.
they're gonna put on a good show.
Okay, what about the Raiders beating the Ravens?
That was hilarious.
Okay, so it's
That
funny.
was fucking hilarious.
Okay, so are the Ravens?
I hope they're dead. God, that would make me so happy. Oh man. And seeing the Cowboys get just demolished by the
They did get
Saints.
demolished.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, so other things here. The Bills destroyed
Yep.
Miami, but is that because of the concussion?
No, they were already beating the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if Tua's done this year, the Dolphins are done.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But I thought that he only had to sit one game out. Are they saying more?
They're questioning whether he even plays ever again.
Oh, really?
Dude, the hit was not that
It didn't seem,
rough.
and it didn't seem dirty at all.
No,
at all.
the hit
Yeah.
was he put his head in and
Yeah.
got concussed. And the more concussions you get, the more susceptible you are to it. This is his fourth one in the NFL already.
Yeah, it's, wow.
And that was not.
Maybe he needs to wear the.
He needs to wear the special helmet.
Special teams helmet. If I was him, I'd wear it, and I wouldn't give a if he planned on playing. He says he's not going to retire, but I mean,
That's a short career,
Dude.
man.
That's really short.
do you really want to? Okay, so they had Merrill Hodge come on Fox News and talk about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because he had to quit because of concussions, and he's like he was feeling fine and all this kind of stuff, and he's like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go play again. I'm gonna take this back. And he went to a place and there was a wine tasting, and he said he had they were just doing the tasting of wines, and
You're
all of
supposed
a
to spit
sudden,
it out. You know that, right? No, I'm just kidding.
but
Why am I so drunk? God.
but he was just
Oh, the wine
like,
tastes great.
doing that, and then all of a sudden he's just like, I literally went blind. He's like,
He didn't
Jesus.
pass out. He just went blind.
he's like, I literally could not see anything. Like it just turned off. He's like, okay, I'm done. I get it. My brain is not working right.
Wow.
And that's when
That's terrifying. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I guess Mooch was on this morning in the pregame stuff, and he's like, Steve Young was just like, he had his concussion, and he's just like,
Yeah.
dude, I get you want to play, you're not playing for me. And he said there were other teams that were willing to let him play, and he's just like, no, you actually care, I get it. I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he might not ever play again, man. That was not a bad hit. That was not.
No, that's why I was so surprised.
And he was full on the frozen arms.
Oh,
all that
really?
stuff
Oh,
again,
wow. I didn't
like,
see that.
And I don't know. So he just, and there go the Dolphins. Their backup quarterback is junk. So
Those guys, I don't. They're in my division, so I'm still like, fuck the Dolphins. But they
oh no, you lost.
Yeah, you
today.
guys lost today.
just
You just
barely.
barely.
But and again, like it's the team is better than I think than I thought they would be.
You lost to the Seahawks, too, right?
You know,
Yeah, but they won last week against the Bengals.
Yeah, you did. That's true.
they're gonna play ugly ass Steeler football.
You know what, and I'm okay with that. Because-
They are unwatchable games.
Look, I'm not gonna fight you on that one, but ugly ass Steeler football is how they started winning in 2001.
Yeah, well, they're not even using the new QB.
I know.
They're not even getting him any practice
That is
doing
so-
this stuff.
That is, if you want to talk about erring on the side of, I don't want to say caution, but like, because there used to be like classic rules to this. It's like, well, the new quarterback is expected to sit for at least 1 to 2 seasons before he takes a snap in the pro. Blah 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 blah. Right? That's the old NFL. That's before like fucking 6,000 yard passing seasons. Like this.
What it is before the salary cap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
right now you're not paying your quarterback $50 million.
Right.
And you can actually get players. Look at the 49ers. Brock Purdy's making $900,000. The rest of their team is stacked. Next year,
That's kind of whack.
It's kind of whack.
next year, it all comes due.
Well, okay. Well, the thing that got me is, how is Dak Prescott the most highest paid man in the NFL?
He's the newest one.
Yeah.
But
Dak.
I don't think he's that great.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's whoever gets the newest contract.
Yeah.
And it's like $1 more.
Dude, I don't think Brady was ever the highest paid man in the NFL. I don't think he ever
is
had
now.
that title.
He chose that.
Yeah.
He could.
And you're
have.
saying that Dak Prescott is not man enough to turn down?
Mahomes isn't the highest paid player.
No, he's not.
And he's fine with it.
Because he's better than Dak Prescott.
Because he gets what it takes to actually win nonstop.
Yeah, he wants rings.
But wait, okay. Peyton Manning was at once the highest paid in the NFL, wasn't he?
Probably.
I think he was. Not for long, but I think he was.
Yeah.
So this is just a kind of... It's not a telling story, right? It can be.
But I will say this. Peyton Manning made other superstars.
That's true.
As did Brady.
Yes.
As did Brady, because whenever those guys on the...
Go catch football.
We're good at it, though.
whatever receivers they'd have
Well, Gronk no play football.
go to another team, they sucked. Like Deion Branch and all these other...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Brady did it
Remember
too.
Deion Branch.
So, but... Yeah, Dak ain't making anybody a superstar.
No.
So the
way.
Cowboys are going to suck. I mean, they're running with Ezekiel
Mahomes
Elliott.
will, though.
Yeah. Mahomes will... So he can take getting paid huge because they can just pump out... They traded Tyrek Hill away.
I know, yeah.
Right.
He got
Because they go, we can just draft another one and it'll come right up. That
Tyrek
was-
Hill...
Hey, he actually made one of the best statements after the event.
He did. It
What?
Like his public reaction to it.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, absolutely. There were things I could have done better. I should have done some of these things. I'm going to take this from, learning from this. Like, because most other guys would have just gone up there and screamed to high hell.
He was 100% in the wrong.
He did not.
100%.
He did not
yeah.
need to be yanked out of the car and thrown on the ground.
Yes, he did.
No.
The dude says, keep your window down. You keep your window
You
down.
don't have to keep your window down.
Yes, you do.
No, you do
If
not.
your window is tinted, yes, you do.
You can keep it cracked.
But that's
But he
that's-
didn't even crack it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But
The cops have to be able to see your hands.
When it came up and he was leaving the vehicle, he was complying.
He was complying.
There
Yes.
was no reason to then yank him, throw him to the ground, and do all the rest
Put
of
your knee in
that.
his back.
There was no reason.
Disagree completely.
Okay.
No. Window again. That's the rule. Is if
And
the
that's
window's
why
not,
he said I should have done things better, but it was escalated unnecessarily. I was complying at that point.
The cop's supervisor agreed with that.
Yes. There is no reason to escalate things when things are calm.
when they took him out of the car, it was not calm. Are you talking about something later? Because I'm talking about the moment that he gets taken out of the car.
Yeah, he was coming out of the car, and the guy came in.
Okay,
the
you're
second
talking
guy
about
came in and
all right,
grabbed him.
okay. I'll
Not the first officer. The first officer did everything fine.
That's what I'm talking about.
He
okay,
never-
second
it was
guy.
the second guy.
Oh,
Fucking
that
motorcycle
that
guy.
guy
Yeah.
is that. Okay, I got you. Okay, because I was like, if you're talking about the
No,
first
the
guy, I'm
first
like,
guy. Yeah, and that's
look,
why.
no,
First
man.
guy's not the issue. It's the
Yeah,
second guy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
because I saw a lot of people blaming the first guy.
No, the first guy did everything fine.
Yeah, he
and
was
that's why
fine.
Tyreek Hill said,
Okay.
I admit,
My
I
bad.
should
Okay,
have done
okay,
things.
okay.
I could have done things better, but it was escalated.
By a particularly zealous cop.
And
He was a black cop too, wasn't he?
No.
There were black cops.
There were black
with-
cops there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but no. The one guy was not. So,
And he's been cited on other occasions
Yeah.
for escalating.
Did you see a cop that's got more tattoos than an NFL player? That's bad time. Sorry, bitch.
You and I have talked at length about why we need more like chubby O'Flatteries around that walk
Right.
the neighborhood
Right.
and check on everybody versus fucking like former like 30 kill confirmed.
It's like that's a lot of tribal tattoos.
Yeah. I think we both made that point. Okay, my fault. I misunderstood because
No,
the first
but
guy is
his,
like,
his press conference was golden.
I
watched
did not expect that.
I didn't either. He said, "Hey, man, I give to the state troopers and stuff like
Okay.
this." And he's like,
My
"Every
fault,
organization has some rotten apples in it."
He
He's
was-
like, "I'm not going to say what happened because I don't really know and I'm still processing it."
He was
It
about
the
as
perfect
classy,
way. Yeah.
and I did not, to be honest, I did not see that coming from him, but it could have been just because he's a chief, and I despised him.
Right.
But I was just like, dude, wow,
It was pretty classy.
that was well done.
Yeah.
So I tip my cap to him.
Wish him a good season with a quarterback who's not going to throw.
Yeah,
anything, man.
all you guys that got Dolphins in your fantasy.
I have him.
I don't think Skylar Thompson can throw it that
I don't
far.
think so either. Yeah. I think his wheels aren't going to be so good now.
So yeah,
okay.
But-
my fault, guys. I totally misinterpreted because I was like, no, man, it's okay. Because and again, the whole like, what does he say? He's like, just do your thing. I'm late.
oh yeah.
Like what? Like no.
And he did give attitude. I get or he was just trying to be, just saying, give me my ticket. I gotta go.
You don't get to do that.
I've done that.
You can say it.
Yeah, you can say it. So, you're like,
You
I'm not
can
contesting anything
say-
here. Just, yeah.
You can say it. I mean, it's not being offensive. But
I've told the cop that. I said, do what you're going to do. So,
Was the window open?
huh?
Could he see your hands?
right.
Yeah.
I get it. He gets it.
Yeah, I get it. So, but, yeah.
But there was no reason for him to be on the ground and having his neck pressed.
That- that-
Broken his arm or something? Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Not the lawsuits, man. The
no,
fucking
no.
town would rise up.
No, we can't do this again. We can't. Hey, the last time we did this, there was a huge miscarriage of justice. Huge. Even you'd agree to this.
What?
The railroading of Derek Chauvin.
I
That's
thought you were talking about an NFL thing.
No.
Yeah.
If we have people in the streets like this, that was absurd.
That's not what they would do. They would be like, that cop cost us the fucking game. Well,
You're talking.
Yeah, because
no,
I mean,
it's,
he
I'm
did
sorry,
go out
but-
and score like a
That was pretty
7-yard
fun.
touchdown
Yeah, like
and
actually,
all this
like,
shit.
broken his wrist or something. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm out." And like everybody would be like, "What the fuck, man? It's like an hour before game time." So,
I'm just surprised, honestly, because it took the cops there a while before someone was like, "Do you know who that is?"
Yeah, do you know who that is? Yeah, I know exactly. So,
But I don't think anybody says, "Oh, I know exactly who it is."
No, but you think someone of those cops along
that was
the way
an
was
awfully
like,
nice car, man. That was an awfully nice car. So, and
You should
I know
start,
who's on the ground, and I don't care how rich he is.
You should
Yeah,
start
it's just
connecting
not-
the dots pretty quick
Yeah.
and be like,
maybe he was on that cop's football team, his fantasy team.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a. You see a car like that, you should be like,
Maybe he was playing against that guy.
yeah,
There you go.
oh, okay, like if that dude gets his shirt ripped off and it says "motherfucking" like Jets for life, then all right, then we have motive. Okay, fine, I got it.
So, yeah, Dolphins could be done.
We'll see.
So as far as my early season predictions,
Yes.
Cowboys, they might not make the playoffs. Bills, I said if they do, Josh Allen's going to be MVP.
Yeah.
I think he's playing like it. So I don't remember what else I said. Other than the Broncos were going to do better, and I'm going to blow that one, I think.
Well, you said that there's a chance that that your boy might actually like step into it, like find that fine line between like confidence and overconfidence, where it's like, because who is it? Let's go back to Jay Cutler, because we know that dude had confidence, too much of it to the point where it's like, no, I'm just going to throw it here.
Damn it. If
And
they
that's
would
what's
have
gonna
just
happen.
kept Shanny and those guys together.
So what we can't do is open up another 45 minutes here about what
Yeah.
could have been. But you know what I'm talking about, that line between I trust my arm to get it there versus...
No, yeah, Nix isn't that. He's way cautious. He's Mr. Dump Off.
How old is he?
24.
Yeah, let's give him a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a kid.
He's an old kid.
Yeah. He doesn't.
24...
Coming out of college?
Yeah.
No, but 24 is still just a child in my eyes.
Yeah, I know, but
but
he
in
got
NFL
redshirted twice.
rookies-
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
old.
Yeah.
They're all children in my eyes, William.
He's supposed to be white, but it looks like Caleb Williams is pissing all over his leg too. So
Cool.
Awesome.
it's a rookie.
Is that what you want to call it? Caleb Williams piss? Or how many times have we used pissed in our titles?
I don't know.
At least twice.
Yeah, we had a better one earlier. I can't remember what it was though.
We'll get into that.
We'll get
But,
into it.
that's
All right.
so,
I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hitting the button.
Okay.